welcome to digitalpianos.com. My name is Mikkel, and today we will be comparing the Yamaha P-series.
And my name is Peter, and today we're going to compare these three models, like Mikkel just said. And it's going to be a comparison between the key actions, first of all, and then also the speakers, which are in these instruments, which all have built-in speakers. And then also, just the general features of the instruments and what our take are on these instruments.
Exactly. Yeah. Shall we start with the action?
Yep.
Yep. So you get pretty much the same action with the entry-level P-45 and the P-125, and then there's a little jump quality-wise to the P-515. So the very basics of it is that you get the plastic key with the P-45 and the 125, and when you jump to the top of the class, 515, you get the wooden keys on the white keys. Yes, and Peter, would you like to elaborate a bit more on the...
Of course there's a price difference, and that's what you really pay for, and that's the key action mainly, I would say, between these instruments. So basically the plastic keys are still good keys. They're still weighted, so they're a bit heavier down here at the bottom, and then they get lighter as you go up in the tones. And that's for all the three instruments. The big difference is really just when you go down to the wooden keys. First of all, the key is a bit heavier, so this means that when you press it down and then it goes up again, then it's faster. So repetition is basically easier on this piano, but it's still quite good on the other ones. It's just better and more realistic, like the acoustic one. Another feature is that the key is a bit longer, so it feels more like a grand piano, whereas these key actions basically are a bit smaller and thus more compact, but that saves some weight, which can be an advantage actually.
Yeah, and also you get a little bit of an extra added nice touch on the P-515. You get the emulated ivory and ebony touch, which is very nice to play and feels a lot like an acoustic piano. But let's go on to the speakers maybe?
Yeah, speakers.
All right, so with the speakers, you pretty much get an upgrade in the detail and the depth of sound from each model you go up. And on the first P-45, you get 6 watts on each side of the piano. You get so you get one speaker on each side, and when you jump to the P-125, you get 7 watt on each side and split between 2 speakers. So you get a tweeter dome, and you get a dome for the mids and the bass. And the same goes for the Yamaha P-515, but here you also get some more wattage, which you can feel when you hear and play when you play the instrument. And I think it's 20 watts on each side.
Yeah.
15 on the mid and bass, and then 5 on the tweeter. Yeah.
Exactly. So the big difference is really just that you have 2 speakers up here, and then 4 down here also. And the reason why you would get the reason why more speakers is better is because you get more detail. So if you only have 2 speakers, then you have to play both all of the bass sounds and all the light sounds through the same speakers, and then they have to be quite dynamic. And that's just hard to do. So in principle, the more speakers you get, the more detail and the more authentic it actually sounds. And that's what you get in these models. So if you're looking for better speakers, perhaps, for example, when comparing these 2 upper models, then the P-125 would be that bit better. And more wattage basically just means that the resonance is better, I would say, so the bass keys are much more authentic. You wouldn't hear that much of a difference in the brighter tones, actually, I would say. But I mean, that's my opinion. Some would say something else, but I mean, that's usually what I would say to customers. But I mean, what is your take maybe on the sound? Is it too like, I don't know, robot sounding up here, computer sounding, or?
I feel that the sound is a bit more electric, especially on these 2 compared to this, the top of the 520, the 515.
Yeah.
But you get a more powerful and a bit deeper sound, I would say, on the P-125 compared to the 45.
Yeah.
But the sound is really great on the 515.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also the double the price.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, the P-125 isn't that much more expensive than the P-45. So if you do feel like you're gonna need those, bit more detail in the sound, then I would say it's a good idea maybe to go for the P-125. But if you're a total beginner and you don't care about the sound or even doesn't know how the sound is supposed to sound like, then the P-45 may be a good option. Yeah. There's also some difference in functions. Maybe you can talk us through that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I would say when you look at the display of the three pianos, there's quite a big difference. So on the 45, you get the so when you actually go from sound and function to function, you press the function button and then you press the sound or the function, the metronome, whatever you want to switch to, and then you find that sound on the keyboard. So I'll do a quick demonstration. You press down the function button. Now we're just on the grand piano sound. If say I want to switch to the strings, I just press here for the strings, and then yes, voila. You get some nice strings.
And then if you have to go back, then it's the same thing. Then you have to press the function key and then the lowest C, and then you get the piano again.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And this is very nice in some people's taste. I would say when you get used to it, it's fine. But many people have not tried this before and might find it a bit annoying in the start. So this is the advantage that the P-125 has over the 45, because here you get the buttons where it's easy to see which sound you're on, and they've made them. I'll also just point for you guys. They've made it so that, let's say I want to go to E pianos, and here there's 3 options for E pianos. Then you can see, okay, I'm on E pianos and which variation of the E piano I'm on, which is very nice and intuitive compared to the Yamaha 45 when you're not quite sure which sound you're on or which variation you're doing right now. So that's nice. And then when you go to the P-515, it gets very nice because here you get a display that shows exactly which sound you're on, and it shows if you're on a metronome, how many beats per minute you're doing. So it's just very intuitive and what we're pretty much all getting very used to. So that's very nice to see from the Yamaha 515.
Yep. But I mean, it's all about, I think it's a question about what kind of design you want. I really like the P-45 because it's so simple. So when you just look at the piano, it seems like there's only 3 buttons, which is your start up button, on and off, and then you have the volume knob, and then you have this function knob, and that's basically it. So if you only want to play piano, then you only have to turn it on, and then you don't have to look at all sorts of buttons and gadgets. It's just a piano. But of course, if you prefer to play a lot of different sounds and maybe switch fast between some, then it's much more easy on the P-125 and the P-515.
Yeah.
But that's a bit of a problem. I mean, I think I would prefer the more simple design because I wouldn't change sounds that much. But that's a preference basically.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say also it very much depends on who's going to be playing the instrument. But as for you, you like to play a lot of classical, and say if you just want to play some classical and you just want a basic grand piano sound, then I think very much the entry level has a very nice and easy to go to design and display. Should we talk a bit about connectivity?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the connectivity options are, they all have USB to host, which makes it possible to do a MIDI signal and connect to a door on your computer, for instance. And also, would you like to elaborate on the Bluetooth audio?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So these two up here doesn't have Bluetooth at all. So they're quite old-fashioned, so to say. But the Yamaha down here actually has Bluetooth audio and MIDI. So like Mikkel just said, they can do MIDI Bluetooth. That means basically wirelessly. So you can connect to your iPad or your computer and so what, and through MIDI signal. But it does also have Bluetooth audio, which means it can stream music. So, for example, you can take out your phone and then go to Spotify or YouTube and then connect it wirelessly. And then you can actually play like a pop song you like or something else through the speakers, and then actually play on top of that. Or just use it as a surround or stereo system if you don't have speakers at home. Because these are actually quite powerful, so it should be fine. But that's a nice feature they added, and something we will see more and more on the newer digital pianos. So it's getting quite normal. But these two up here only have USB 2 hosts and no Bluetooth audio at all. So they're a bit more old-fashioned. Yeah, and then I mean, this one up here only has all of them have a line out for headphone inputs. So you can put on headphones, but they don't all feature line out. So for example, if you wanted to, maybe you had a big birthday party or something like that, and you wanted to plug them into some bigger speakers, then it's only possible for these two instruments because they have line out. You don't get that on the P-45, which is again a much more simple instrument. So connectivity wise, you get most for your money down here in the P-125 and the P-515. But this is definitely the most updated technology wise. Design maybe?
So so as you can see, they're all quite compact instruments. The P-45 and the P-125 are made of pretty much full plastic, and this gives them a very it makes them very light. They're both weigh in at around 12 kilograms, and this would make it easy to put in a bag and just go to practice somewhere. If you have to do a little concert, go to a birthday, for instance.
A birthday party.
It would be very easy to bring one of these. And whereas this one would also be quite easy to take around, it still is. You get some, which looks nice, some very nice wooden details up front here, and I think it's some aluminium.
So it's reinforced here. Which makes it a bit more rigid.
And again, looks nice, but makes it a bit more heavy. And so this one weighs in at 22 kilograms, which is worth noting.
It might be a deal factor for some people that it's too heavy to carry around, but I mean, it's a bit more sturdy also, so it can take some, if you accidentally drop it or something like that, then I think this one will be a bit more, it'll take it easier than these ones up here. They might crack. You also get these very nice glossy sides on the P-515, which I like. So it kind of looks like a real acoustic one with the polished ebony. So that's like a fine detail they made. But it's quite heavy, this one, and also it's a bit deeper. So it's quite it's not that easy to carry around, especially not around corners.
Also, I would add to the design of the instrument that on the 45, the speakers are placed on the bottom of the instrument. And so you don't really have a speaker grill on the P-45 as you see on the 125, and that's also quite big on the 515. And this also has a functionality aspect as well, because when the speakers are located on the bottom of the instrument, it's worth noting that if you're going to be playing on a table, for instance, then the sound isn't going to be portrayed as easily out as if you were playing on the 25, the 125, or the 515, where the sound is projected up from the instrument. But yes, they all three look very nice, in my opinion. Very sleek.
Of course. Maybe we should talk about what's in the box when you get it. So, because there's a difference in what kind of extra attachments you get. So all of them feature a music stand, basically. We've just not put them up here because we're stacking them, but they all feature that. It's the best one, I would say, on the P-515 again. It's a bit more luxurious. It's this sort of, I think it's supposed to look like glass, but it is plastic, but some see-through material, whereas on the other two here it's just a normal plastic music stand. So again, it's a bit more luxurious down here. Again, you pay a bit more, then you get something more extra. And that goes for the same for the pedal. I don't know, do you remember the difference?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay. So basically, on these two up here, it's the classical little small sewing machine pedal.
Yeah.
Which has a tendency to just, it goes everywhere when you play it. And you also don't have any half pedal function. On the P-515 you get this much more grand piano feel like sustain pedal, which is much more, way better to play on, I would say. You also get some more, of course it's a bit wider also, or deeper, so you have more plastic bits down here to make it more sturdy when you play, so it doesn't go all around the places when you actually play the instrument. So that's also quite a nice detail. This pedal you can buy loose if you want to. So perhaps if you begin to play on these two and you start at some point to feel like that you need an upgrade pedal wise, then you could potentially just buy this and then plug it in. It's all connected by aux pedal.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice actually.
Definitely. Yeah.
Maybe we should talk overall what we think about each of the instruments.
Yeah.
And also why you should pay so much more for this, or how many years you had to practice to get to actually get something out of this one, or generally who buy these instruments actually, I would say.
Yeah.
So maybe we could start up here. Who do you think buys this? And who should buy it?
Yeah. Well, I would say that at the price point you get a very nice speaker. You get pretty much the same action as on the P-125. And you get the very minimalistic display and the design of the instrument. So I would say this is an instrument for maybe for beginners that just want the cheapest and good instrument they can get their hands on right now. And also for someone who maybe already has a advanced stage piano, for instance, and just needs a very little portable piano they can take to a little rehearsal or just a little setting where they need a piano with built-in speakers. Yeah. Yes.
That I actually also agree on. Because I think most people are a bit like, why should I buy the P-125 then? Because this one is actually already a good instrument and the differences aren't that great. But I mean, if you're someone who think that maybe not now, but later on that you will find it interesting to have more sounds, then that's basically what you pay the most for here. So you have a lot of different variations of sounds, more e-pianos, strings, pianos in general. So there's a lot more fun to play around with. This one is a bit, some would say boring, perhaps, because it's so simplistic. So there aren't many sounds to play around with. You also get a better recording function setup, I would say. So it's easier to record stuff. And it's a bit more fun to play with, I would say. And then the built-in speakers are better. So if you're going to play a lot and actually maybe turn the volume a bit more up than usual people do, then the sound is way better down here. It's much more motivating when it sounds a bit more like an acoustic one. The sound is still pretty good up here, but it's a bit better down there.
Yeah.
So I would say that if you like more sounds and you like the better speakers, then that's why you would go for there. But it's the same persons, I think.
Yeah,
beginners
I
and intermediates perhaps, or someone who already has something big but needs something small, then this one is a good option. Yeah.
And also maybe because they are so close, the deal breaker might be the fact that the speakers are on the bottom of this one and the top of this one. So if you're having it on the table, the P-125 is probably the best option for you.
Yeah, then the sound will be much more open and much more realistic than up here. Then it will sound much more closed and computer-like.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then why should you buy this one?
So it is the top of the line P-series model, and it's very clear that it is that. Both because you pay a bit more, but you definitely also get a lot more. You get better speakers, better action. better connectivity, more sounds. It's just all around a better instrument than the two others.
Yeah.
And so you might even say that this is this is good for people who need some more sounds. You know,
Yeah.
if you're an advanced player and you need more sounds to play and expand your
creativity,
yeah,
perhaps, or
creativity.
you're going to play something new, or
Yeah.
you need some inspiration, then the more sounds are actually a good extra feature, I would say.
Yeah. And if you just want those wooden keys, then you have to get the P-515.
Yeah, they're quite good.
Yeah, very, very nice.
So that's a big step up from these two
Yeah.
to the wooden keys, because this is something you would usually get in some of the bigger home pianos, actually.
Yeah.
So it's much more authentic to play. But I mean, some people, and also myself, would say that this is also a good beginner's piano, because it is something that possibly would motivate you even more than these ones up here, because it feels so much more like an acoustic one, and also the sound is much better. So maybe you're not worth the piano when you just start, but like in 5 years time, then it's actually, yeah, then maybe you have even proceeded even more in your piano career than on these two.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have to feel like you need to upgrade as soon on this one as in these two.
Yeah.
If you get really into it and really begin to practice a lot, then these maybe a bit too soon will get outdated. Then you feel like you'll have to pay for something bigger, and then you have kind of lost that money.
Yeah.
But also it's a big investment to do if you're uncertain whether you're going to play. That we hear a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have also forgot the colors, actually. So do you remember the colors?
Well, you can get all the free models in black and white.
Yeah, exactly. Except the P-45.
Oh, sorry, yes, the P-45 does not come in white.
Yeah, it's so simple. So.
Yeah. But other than that, that's your options.
Yeah.
So they make it easy for you.
Exactly. So if you like a white piano, then these two are possible. And they also look quite nice, actually. Some say it's a bit easier to clean up dust, I've heard,
Yeah.
on the white ones. But I mean, usually people buy a black one because it's more, it looks, the most people think that a piano is black.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
Yeah.
Another interesting feature is actually that you can get this one in a smaller model, where you get fewer keys. That one is called P-121. So if you're interested in something that doesn't have 88 keys, you can get, I think it's 76 or 73 key version, which is called the P-121. So it has all the same features and the same speakers, but you just lose a bit of an octave. So if you don't have much space, then that's a good option.
Well, that's pretty much it. Go have a look yourselves, and
yeah, go visit our website, actually.
Our website.
We have all of these. We try to have them in stock. It's a bit hard because of Corona and microchip problems, but we do sell all of the models. Yeah.
So
yeah,
thank you
for
for
today.
watching.
Yeah.
And we'll be back soon, probably with some more content.
Yeah. Please leave a like and subscribe.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. We do a lot of different videos like unboxings, sound comparisons, and detailed overviews, and so much more. We are Scandinavia's biggest digital piano store with a great variety of digital pianos, digital grand pianos, and synthesizers. So go visit our website or our social media to get inspired. Go play piano.